So this Mazda come in with all sorts of little problems. It had a misfire, wouldn't rev past 3,500, proper holding back. Done a diagnostics on it, full data log. Also done a compression test and a boost leak test. So we had a bad boost leak from the map sensor and another bad boost leak down here in one of the boost pipes. I also took the engine loom off because it was very untidy, and I just done my usual tidying it up, moved the relays, basically figured out that it was the coil pack that was knackered and it had the wrong plugs in it, and I'll show you the plugs not to use and the ones to use with these engines because they're very sensitive to using genuine items and decent plugs. So depending on your state of tune, these are the 3 sets of plugs that I would use. So the Laser Platinum PFR 6T, I'd use these from standard all the way up to about stage 2, even stage 3. Anything after that, the heat range is a bit too low. So the heat range on these is a 6. So then I'd move up to an Iridium. So these Iridiums are a heat range 7, and I'd run these Iridiums all the way up to a good 450 horsepower. Very, very good plugs. Very well made in Japan. Make sure you get some genuine ones, because there's a lot of replicas out there. And anything over 450 horsepower, I'd move up to a grade 8 plug. I've got a pack here somewhere, but I couldn't find them for the video. So all you want to do is just change that number for an 8, and they'll be good. We've run them up to 600 horsepower there. They'd still do more, and they keep the cylinders nice and cool, and aid in stopping debt and unnasty misfires. Now the spark plugs that were inside this engine before I took them out were these NGK. They're recommended by a lot of the Volkswagen boys, but they're not suited to the VXR. So the code on them is BCR8ES, and if you compare them side by side to the VXR plugs, one thing you're going to notice straight off, if we can get them side by side, so nice and close together so you can see, look at how deep the tip of the VXR goes in compared to the plugs that are not designed. So what happens here is this plug sits further inside the head and chokes up. So after about 2 weeks, they run nice for about 2 weeks, and then they start to choke up. These can self-clean because they sit a lot deeper inside the cylinder, and they don't choke up with fuel. So that's why I don't use these inferior plugs. These are only like 15 quid a set. Don't matter what you read on the internet, they're no good. Don't use them. So this is the main problem we had with the car. Although when a coil pack goes down, cosmetically they look identical to one that's working. You can't even tell the difference. Obviously it's just a little bit cleaner. This coil pack inside had started breaking down and was causing too much resistance, and at around 3,000 RPM, 3,500 RPM, it wouldn't rev anymore, or it was misfiring and spluttering, and it would try to pull through the revs, but it just couldn't do it. Always use genuine Bosch items when you replace the parts on these cars, because they're very sensitive to using aftermarket crappy parts. There's the part numbers. Nice fresh coil pack. Always aid spark. These coil packs are very good and they will last a long time, so don't skimp on price. I think this was only about 80 quid, and the replicas are around 60 quid, so there's no point even skimping on price. So get a proper one, and no more misfires, and that should last another 50-60,000, even if not more. So there's the part number on the box, and I hope that helps you. Running mint now. Really fun little car. It's not often you see 2-litre turbo Vauxhall conversions, Opel conversions in a little Mazda. It's got LSD. So that one's ready to go now, and the customer can come pick that up, and we'll move on to the next one. So as I said in the previous videos, I'm just going to give these pipes a sand down, give them a paint. Although they're stainless, I don't like the bare stainless look. So I think I'm going to do them in a satin black like the rest of them. I've sanded this one down already. I'm just going to get on with keying this one up so I can get a bit of paint on it. So as I said in a previous vid, I'm going to fit this fire extinguisher. Now, originally, I thought what I'll do is I'll fit it down here below the passenger seat. But then I thought, actually, it'd be better if I just grab it from behind and have it there. That way it's bolted down. You can just pull it out. I've got easy access to it. So that's where I think I'm going to do it. So you can see where I'm thinking of putting it. Right there. And then it's nice easy access. I can just grab it from the driver's seat if anything happens. Hope not, but you never know. So a lovely, nice, simple job. Just a couple of screws, and then I can just grab it from the driver's side, and it's in there proper solid. So we've got a nice fresh extinguisher in there now. No moving about. So a couple of coats of paint come up a lot fresher. So all I've done is I used an Etch primer, a couple of coats of satin black, and then some satin lacquer. So in case anyone wondering, just go over the bare metal with a dust coat of Etch primer. Give it an hour or so to dry, then put 2 coats of satin black on it, and then a coat of satin clear coat, and it'll come up nice and won't fade, because satin paint does fade if you don't put a lacquer on it. So that's important. So on to something else now. The cam cover on my car started to leak around the gasket, so I've got a brand new gasket. Also got a new rocker cover. I just want to paint it silver. The one on there at the minute is grey. I've got a new plug cover coming, so it should look clean. So I don't think there's a better colour than the silver for one of these. It just looks really nice and fresh. Cleans up the engine bay. So we're going to get to sanding this down now and get it painted. So obviously whenever you're changing your rocker cover, always change the seals. Always change the O-rings as well. A lot of people miss these ones out. These O-rings that go in here. And just stops leaks in the future. Don't torque them down too much. Bolts on these need to be torqued down to 8 Newton meters. No more than that. Don't hand tighten them. Just do them all properly. They won't leak in the future. And what happens is these rocker covers warp because people do up these bolts way too tight, and it pulls up the ends, and they'll never seal again. It's all been sanded down. It's been fully degreased about 3 times now because I didn't want to get any silicone fish eyes. So I'm just going to give it a thin coat of plastic adhesion promoter and a dusting of Etch primer, and then we're going to stick some base coat over it. So there we go, nicely refurbished cam cover. You can see it's come out really nice. No more scratches, no more marks, and back to silver. So that'll be nice looking, nice when it's on the car. Nice and fresh again. And just to freshen it up a little bit more, brand new OPC plug cover. Goes great with the silver and goes well with the blue boost hoses as well. Right, so we've just received this new rebuild kit for the F23 gear stick selector. So what this has in it is a brand new bush that replaces the old worn bush that this ball on the gear sticks sits in. So this makes it nice and tight again. And also we've got a brand new pin, and that's the pin that goes in here that always wears, and it just stops all this side to side movement. So the movement I'm talking about is this. So when you're in gear, you can see that movement there, that play. If you go out and look at your own gear stick and do exactly the same thing, you'll see it's worn. Now this ball joint in here is not the problem, it's the bush itself, which is this section here. So this is a brand new section, and in the next video I'm going to show you how to replace it all, and I'm going to take the gear stick selector apart. And also this has got the R&D quick shift, but there's a new one on the market that's a bit longer and will shorten the throw even more. So I'm going to get hold of one of them as well. So you can see the amount of play side to side. Now that's in gear, and that's the sort of play. If you go out there, check your own one, you'll see that, and then order yourself a new bush, and then get ready for the next video, and I'll show you how to replace it all. It's not difficult at all. So also I run a gear sticks razor on my car. I rate 60mm off of the floor. I'll show you a quick picture of that now. So they raised the gear stick selector up a lovely height off the floor of the car, about 60 mil. I'm not sure if that's too high to be using with a centre console. I'll have to test that one because I never run centre consoles. That's the end of this video now, but next video, as I say, we'll show you how to do the gear selector mod and take it all apart, strip it down, and it'll be as good as new.